The Great Outdoors, Red Dead Redemption 1. Now, regardless that anybody could say, many people will agree that Red Dead Redemption 2 is more superior than 1. Now, I will agree that Red Dead Redemption 2 is quite a lot of fun. The open world has been extended upon with a multitude of amazing characters, but I just have to agree that Red Dead Redemption 1 is my favorite, mostly between the main protagonist known as John Marston.
What you are, dear boy, is the man whose life I've saved twice now. A man who sells lies and deceit to unwitting people. A man who, if he doesn't help me, I won't think twice about putting a bullet through his skull, feeding to the vultures myself.
But I don't know, guys. I mean, Red Dead Redemption 1 had a more open feel to the Western theme what you would actually think back then. I mean, you can go to an open shootout with a minigun. Not only that, you can also get into draw battles with random people around the street. It just got really exciting, and I would do it again. But I just have to agree, guys, throughout this whole game, you're going to be introduced to an outstanding open world, amazing character development by John Marston, and likable cast and people who will help you along the way. And let me tell you, the shootouts are so fun. It feels like you're in an old Western film.
Oh! Those with loaded guns, and those who dig.
But despite all of that, there was one thing that always caught my mind to remember this game, and that was simply the Mystery Man. Now typically while you're exploring the massive flat world that is Red Dead Redemption 1, you come across something on your map that actually has the shape of a mystery mark. Once you go to explore that, you see a man who wants to confront you, and for all of a sudden he knows your name.
Hello, John. John Marston.
Do I know you?
I hope so. I seem to know you.
Now, between nowadays and video games, mysteries like that happen way too common and people don't really question it. But back then, many people were making judgments and theories saying what he was and what he was doing there, especially how did he even know who John was. Now, he probably could have known John from something like from the past, from a wanted poster. That could be true. But another thing that really shocked me is when he said this.
I'm pretty good at remembering faces.
Are you? Do you remember Hattie McCourt's face?
Who?
She was a girl Dutch Vanderlyn shot in the head on that raid on the ferry a few years back. Same one you got shot on. Pretty girl, until her eye was hanging out by a thread of tendon and her brain was plastered over a wall.
Now that alone is rather creepy. How did he even knew John Marston got shot that day? Or especially, how did he even knew what the woman's name was, including how did he know where she got shot? It's pretty much a whole big mystery at that point, but of course, as anybody knows, there was theories, and one of these theories saying that he was probably the devil, which I disagree. Now, like I said, I don't agree on that theory by one bit, because as anybody knows, the devil feasts on sin, but however, this theory is destroyed with this next line he says.
A friend of mine is drunk as a skunk in the saloon on Thieves' Landing. I think he's gonna be unfaithful to his dear wife. Why don't you head over there and see if you can advise him how best to proceed?
So as you see, John Marston was told to go warn his friend not to cheat on his wife. But why would he tell John to stop it? Wouldn't the devil want it so he can have his soul? And why would he even call him a friend? So as anything, you can actually go there and talk to the man. And watch what John says.
What do you want?
Look, don't ask how, but I know what you're about to do. You don't want to do this.
The hell are you talking about?
You know what I'm talking about, mister. I'm just here to say I don't think you should go through with it. Your wife, she loves you.
Shit, mister. I don't know who or what you are, but I guess I'm grateful. I guess you're right. I was raised better than this.
So yeah, that theory is pretty much destroyed, whoever made it up. But there's one thing you have to keep in mind. Now, John was told to tell that man not to go through with the affair. That could made sense, as you paid attention, that man was pretty old. So he probably had a few years going for him, and maybe that guy told John to tell him not to do it because there was a high chance he would have died and probably go to hell. So maybe it was a chance for him to save his own friend's immortal soul. I mean, that's the only thing that goes through my mind. And another statement that I have to show you, that this one doesn't come from part 1, it actually comes from part 2. Now, like any other open world game, you want to explore it, but as anybody knows, you come across weird things, and this shack is a true exception. Now once you enter the house, you start to realize that this place is completely spotless. It was way too modern, including not a speck of dust anywhere despite all the candle wax being on the floor. But as you realize, the painting that you see in front of you is still wet, so it just got finished being done. But however, that's not the painting you want to be looking for. This is the painting you want to be looking out for. Now as you see, it just looks like splatter art, but as anybody knows, now every time you progress more into the game, the painting always gets improvement on by upgrades between natural twin colors and also being drawn twin in lines. But you start to think, who's painting this and what is it about? Now here's a little fact. Once you actually get to the last chapter of Red Dead Redemption 2, and if you come back here, you start to realize that is the mysterious stranger in that painting the whole time. Yeah, once again, pretty creepy, but it's nice to know Rockstar never forgot about him. Now, out of all the things we have seen throughout this whole video, the most mysterious one is the final time John Marston talks to the man.
Hey, there's a beautiful spot.
Sure. What are you doing here?
My accounts. I'm an accountant.
Is that so?
In a way.
What's your name?
You know, it's the darndest thing. I can't remember.
Tell me your damn name and where you know me from.
Well, I know you from Mexico. I know you from back out west. Hell, I know you from all over.
Tell me your name or I won't be responsible for my actions.
Oh, but you will. You will be responsible. This is a fine spot. See you around, cowboy.
Damn you!
Yes, many have.
Now that could actually explain a multitude of many things. What could that mean or who he was? What I believe in is the fact that he is probably the Grim Reaper. As you paid attention in a certain spot they were sitting at, that is the exact same spot John Marston was buried after he was killed at the end of the game. But that actually explains a lot. Why was he sitting in that specific spot, including what did he meant by "I'll see you around," as a meaning that he'll see him pretty soon. Now here's where the evidence of this theory comes to play. Now as anybody knows, throughout Red Dead Redemption 2 and 1, John Marston and his gang has killed a multitude of people across the nation. So you start to realize that Death took notice of the gang, and was he really disgusted by them, considering as you paid attention, Death was pretty much of a gentleman talking to John Marston as a normal chat. And one other thing, if John Marston was shot at the beginning of Red Dead Redemption 1, maybe Death took notice and gave him a second chance so he could take care of the gang that's been killing hundreds of people throughout the many years of this video game. That actually proves the theory by a landslide. Anyway guys, my name is Sheriff Farbadoom. Hope you actually enjoyed my video, including if you like my commentary, please like, comment, and subscribe. I really do appreciate it, and I'll talk to you guys all later. Peace.